Stigmatization of mental health is deadly for our society.
We have a mental health workforce right now that is not reflective of the people that they're serving.
I call it the conspiracy of silence, people suffering in silence because they're afraid of being judged.
In the Black community, and especially in the West Indian community, you're going to be shamed by family, by friends. But if you don't tell anybody, you can't get help.
It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. I think it's a sign of strength.
Welcome to Breaking the Stigma, as we learn about what it means to overcome disparity. I'm Cindy Hsu. Disparity in mental health care can take many forms. For the 1 in 5 who suffer with mental health issues, it can mean lack of care in some neighborhoods, like this area in Harlem until just a few years ago. Or it can mean care that's unaffordable, or social stigmas that may prevent some people from reaching out. But there is help, and no one should have to suffer in silence. There are programs that are free or low cost, and services that will literally meet you where you are. And we'll be telling you about some of them over this next half hour. It can be a friendly voice on the phone, a psychiatrist who can treat you at an urgent care, or even an empathetic and knowing ear at your neighborhood beauty salon.
I'm very conscious about my appearance, my hair especially. I would come here after work and I would just release all my stress and then come out looking beautiful and feeling better about myself.
Thanks to the Arthur Ashe Institute, I don't just do somebody here and send them through the door. I can offer other type of care which most people do need.
And that's part of the mission of the Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health, founded in 1992 by the tennis legend and social activist, to be boots on the ground in underserved communities with programs to help overcome the stigma of mental illness and create a trusted bridge by offering training in neighborhood salons and barbershops to help get care to clients in need.
If you were to talk to salon stylists or barbers, they'll say that they serve as therapists for their clients, right? Because everybody trusts them. And at the Institute, we developed programs that went into beauty salons and barbershops and trained stylists and barbers about different health topics. And so why not mental health?
I have other clients that, as they're going through stuff, not only can I refer them to the Institute, I'm like a support base here for them.
We've worked with over 100 salons and barbershops doing different programs. More recently, we've concentrated on about 20 barbershops and salons in Brooklyn.
I find that a lot of clients are more susceptible to therapy, that never believed in therapy before, never even dream of getting therapy. And they are now going home and talking to their siblings, their children, about therapy.
The Ashe Institute's reach extends into schools as well, to engage teenagers for peer leadership and outreach programs.
It was kind of hard to talk about my feelings and stuff, and I just wanted to get into something that would help myself and maybe help the other people around me.
We had workshops to work on our own coping strategies and mechanisms, and then eventually we incorporated that into a presentation and workshop to better help educate people our age as peer leaders on their mental health.
We have those tools. We could direct people to this. There's numbers you could call, there's clinics you could go to get the help you need. It's just about a matter of wanting it.
I've been profoundly impacted by the stigma that's attached to when you discuss mental illness. I come from a family where we don't really even acknowledge mental illness, right? Anytime you felt that you were not maybe mentally well, you just need to pull your pants up and just deal with it. It really takes time to work and try and deprogram these myths that exist about mental illness. But there are many folks in my shoes who still aren't comfortable talking about it.
As Jonathan Chung bravely recounts his own mental health challenges, they can now almost be seen as touch points in his work for NAMI NYC.
What would you say are some of the biggest
access to care issues?
Too often in our communities, there aren't places to go, right? Too many providers out here who don't even take insurance. You have all these layers that just compound the problem.
What advice would you have for somebody maybe who was where you were?
Don't feel that you need to continue to exist in a space where talking and sharing your emotions is a weak thing. Seek out someone you trust. Seek out someone who you feel can listen. Reach out to NAMI NYC. You know, we have a fantastic helpline that can connect you to whatever it is that you need.
And what's great is it's anonymous.
Yes, completely anonymous, everything completely free. Our doors cannot be more wide open.
For the people who are watching right now and are feeling like, I want to help with the solution, what can we do?
We have a fantastic, what we call our Advocacy Ambassador program, where we train our volunteers to meet with elected officials, to testify at hearings, to go up to Albany with us, to meet with elected officials. Go on our line, NAMINYC.org. Our helpline information is right there as well. Don't feel alone. There's a community here for you. We have Black Minds Matter. We have AAPI support groups, LGBTQ+. I promise you that there's a community out there that's just waiting for you.
The urgent care with behavioral health provides mental health care right away when they need it, in the moment.
Everyone's familiar with the strip mall. It's here, it's familiar. And yes, it's just like walk in.
This urgent care with behavioral health, located in Neptune, New Jersey, was the game changer for college student Thomas Pender. He was able to easily access mental health care in a lower stress environment at a most critical time.
Last thing I remember seeing is me falling forward and seeing the leather seat.
He's recalling a harrowing panic attack he suffered on a New Jersey train.
And when I came up, it was the paramedics who were helping me. I was literally just crying. My biggest thing was, how do I move forward? And the behavioral health was there for me because they were able to say, okay, come into our office as completely walk-in. We'll be able to look at you, get you sat down with a psychiatrist, and at least get you started on that path. The day of getting out of the hospital, getting discharged, and going out, it was completely life-changing.
The urgent care is for those who might be suffering from anxiety, depression, stress, panic attacks. Maybe it's kids who need school clearance, or maybe they had treatment in the past and ran out of medications and they want to come back for a refill. That's what the urgent care is for.
This concept takes away a lot of the fear, anxiety, and anticipation of what you think mental health is all about.
We want to raise awareness of these conditions that can be treated, that don't have to wait for that outpatient appointment with a therapist that says they have a 6-month wait. You can get treatment for it right now, or at least a diagnosis and some ideas on what interventions might be best for you.
I've kept a 4.0 or higher GPA my entire life, straight A student. I'm mechanical engineering. I'm an RA as well. Now I've learned that I have to ask for help when I need it, because the unfortunate thing is if you suffer in silence, you will continue to suffer in silence.
But it's as easy as walking in the door.
Hackensack Meridian has plans to expand this 5-year-old program, making mental health care available in more urgent care settings. They offer services for patients from 5 years old to senior citizens. Other healthcare systems have also started to offer behavioral health at walk-in centers as well. Coming up.
Therapy wasn't really something that we talked about in my family. It was like, if you went to therapy, it's like, what's wrong with you? You know, just go pray.
My life is living proof that even in your moment of greatest despair and darkness, never lose hope.
They just overcome with emotion, but they don't have any more tears.
Welcome back to Breaking the Stigma, and a look at how some are overcoming disparity in mental health care. A local politician opens up about his own issues with mental health, reflecting on how it shaped him personally, as well as the public policies he now champions. But first, while some social stigmas may be a deterrent to reaching out for professional help, houses of worship have long offered respite for those who are struggling. The need was so great at one church in Harlem that a vital neighborhood center was created to help address mental health needs for the community.
I'm a single father and pretty new widower. Yeah, so we lost my My wife, my best friend, the love of my life, had cancer. My wife's name was Summer, and we were married for 11 years. Therapy wasn't really something that we talked about in my family. It was like, if you went to therapy, it's like, what's wrong with you? You know, just go pray.
And in part, that's what brought Jamil McCanstry to the First Corinthian Baptist Church in Harlem.
This church has really wrapped their arms around me and really embraced me to be a part of the ministry, so I'm really happy.
He now plays keyboards during services, but he's also found much more there.
They kept talking about the Hope Center, and how there was free counseling and free therapy. I was able to meet Dr. Lena Green, and it has really been a huge blessing to my life. Like the level of counseling that you get.
The Hope Center is a community-based mental health clinic that provides free services in Harlem connected to the historic First Corinthian Baptist Church. HOPE stands for Healing on Purpose and Evolving. We actually started providing mental health services right inside of the church. Our senior pastor, Michael A. Warren, thought that it would be a good idea to provide services, specifically mental health services, to the congregation. It was his firm belief that the church, a center part of the community, should also be in the business of supporting the mental health of the congregation and the surrounding community.
Because of the stigma associated with mental health conditions, that he needed to create a space outside of the church but connected with it. And that's how we led to the development of the Hope Center.
The Hope Center on 116th Street is just steps from the church. It offers individual and group counseling, grief counseling, services for seniors, men's groups, and so much more. The wait list of nearly 150 people is a testament to the overwhelming need for a place like this.
I think one of the many ways that we try to address disparities in mental health care are really meeting people where they are. And that's what we're trying to do with my work at Mount Sinai in partnership with the Hope Center at First Corinthian Baptist Church.
We also know that people have had positive experiences coming into this place and space. And so when you have a good experience, what do you usually do? You tell a friend, right?
To be able to get this level of care and intentionality, it's been priceless, truly.
You know, all of us, rich and poor, black and white, are equally susceptible to mental illness. Right? We're all one tragedy away from a mental health crisis because we're human, but not all of us have equal access to mental health care.
Congressman Richie Torres is the first openly gay Afro-Latino to serve in Congress, and his district in the Bronx is one of the poorest in the country. He says issues surrounding mental health are a priority and resonate deeply with him, and he's extraordinarily candid about his own struggles.
Like many low-income people, I was facing barriers to accessing mental health care. More than a decade before entering public office, I found myself at the lowest point of my life. I had dropped out of college, found myself abusing substances, thought of taking my own life because I felt as if the world around me had collapsed. I even underwent hospitalization for a period of time, and I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would rebuild my life and then eventually become the youngest elected official in America's largest city. My life is living proof that even in your moment of greatest despair and darkness, never lose hope.
And not just in the Latino community, but in the Asian community and so many communities of color.
We have to raise awareness about the true nature of mental illness, depression, anxiety. You know, educate the public that these are not character failings, but true diseases and disabilities that require treatment. You're no more to blame for your depression than you are for your inability to generate insulin as a diabetic. We have to think about depression in the same sense that we think about physical illnesses. And frankly, it can be even more crippling than physical illness. Because depression at its worst cripples your ability to live.
And that you could wave that wand that you think would really help mental health access. What would they be?
Every school should have a school-based health center. We should be investing in the training and hiring of more psychologists and psychiatrists to break down barriers to mental health care. And then we need to put in place policies that are specifically aimed at those with severe mental illness. The policy of America is to allow those with severe mental illness to simply languish and die in our jails and prisons or in our streets and subways. We need more inpatient and outpatient care for those with psychosis, with severe mental illness like schizophrenia. So I feel strongly, the love and support of your friends and family is an important part of the equation. There are mental health centers known as clubhouses, which are geared with those towards serious mental illness.
And this is free to people who go?
It's a free service, often publicly funded, but privately provided.
We want people to have a place where they can build relationships, reduce isolation, and learn that this is a safe place. So clubhouses is a great example of a socialization that is helpful.
Dr. H. Gene Wright II is Deputy Commissioner of Mental Hygiene for New York City. He says his objective is to gain awareness of New Yorkers' mental health and environmental factors that shape their daily lives, and to meet the diverse needs of residents.
We certainly want to, again, meet kids where they are as well, and one of the great programs that we have is Teen Space, and those individuals have an option to, talk or chat if they like. And we've serviced over 20,000 New York children, young people, that have accessed that service. The most important thing is having 988 available. And so you don't have to know exactly what you need. We're there to help you make that decision. There's a counselor, someone there that has expertise that you can ask questions, you can text, call, chat. Every single New Yorker who needs it should have access to services. And so my goal is to make sure that we stick closely to our Healthy NYC plan, which is to reduce overdose deaths by 25% by 2030, to reduce suicide deaths by 10% by 2030.
A mental health report issued by New York City says about 1/3 of New Yorkers who have a mental health diagnosis report unmet mental health needs. That includes not receiving treatment they want, not getting it as soon as they wanted, or easily accessing it. They also say treatment access varies widely by community, with Asian New Yorkers utilizing it the least. Coming up.
There's such a stigma against people with mental health issues. There's a stigma against the disabled.
And so how did you find it?
I was scrolling on Instagram and I thought, what a powerful project.
Welcome back to Breaking the Stigma, as we explore some other effective but not necessarily accredited solutions for overcoming disparity. For some, just talking with someone, asking for guidance, or a sympathetic ear may get them on the road to help. Or it could be having someone step in and help recover some order in their life.
Clutter has a way of holding you hostage. This is not abnormal for situations that people are in. It's not abnormal. There's such a stigma against people with mental health issues. There's a stigma against the disabled.
Clean. Aisha England is the caregiver for her husband who is ill and can't keep up with his needs and order in their home.
This situation, someone's disabled and is leading to depression. Now, if I do get my place clean, that will contribute to me, wanting to keep the space clean because I've seen how it made me feel.
This is compassionate cleaning at work. Davina Ferbert is the owner and facilitator of this 6-year-old company, tackling what might look like insurmountable messes. But armed with cleaning supplies and a psych major from Queens College, she has a deeper level of understanding and compassion for each situation.
These are the clothes that were around.
As a caretaker, you can also feel alone because you're doing this out of love. You're doing it out of compassion. No one does what you do the way that you do it. And I feel like Davina does this like no one else does.
First step is acknowledging it, that there is something going on that needs to be fixed. From the story they give me before I start, they just overcome with emotion, but they don't have any more tears.
Many clients of compassionate cleaning are literally or figuratively drowning in their own mess. Davina says taking on the root of the issue is as important as getting down to the bottom of the pile. And the work of compassionate cleaning was recently recognized by the mayor's office for Mental Health Week. In just over 3 hours here, this is what she accomplished.
Other than restoring their space, you're restoring self-esteem. You're restoring some type of dignity in the person as well.
How do you feel about talking to me. I'm a stranger.
I'm like, how special that someone also is taking their time to do this.
This is the Grandma Stand, a free pop-up where wisdom of the ages, along with a healthy dose of kindness, is dispensed by a rotating group of grandmothers to anyone willing to take a seat.
Hi, I'm Grandma Susan. Have a seat.
They're not therapists, but the listening and empathy and presence and disarming nature of a grandmother is, I think, people, it opens them up.
Mike Matthews started the Grandma Stand 6 years ago with his own grandma, Eileen. Its original incarnation featured her over Zoom. He says she loved talking to people, and people loved her back. Grandma Eileen lived to be 102.
We've heard that loneliness is an epidemic, especially with seniors. How did this help your grandmother's mental health?
100%. She says it extended her life. That's not FDA approved, but she said that gave her just purpose.
So how did you find it?
I was scrolling on Instagram, and I thought, what a powerful project.
Susan Isaacson was manning the stand on this brisk April day. She's a former social worker and a speech pathologist.
I think to understand that there's always a way to find help and to be able to connect. We've learned so many things living as long as we've lived, and why not share that with others?
Do you have any tips of like how to harness that anxiety and use it for good?
Well, I'm a big fan of journaling.
Tell me, what did you get out of Grandma's Stand today?
She was very open, calming, asking all the right questions to prompt you to kind of dig deeper.
How does this kind of even things out when it comes to disparity?
If you think about the people that normally would never walk into a therapist's office or would never reach out to improve their mental health, there's something about having this kind of anonymous grandmother on a street corner. It's just a love. I hope this also gives them a sense of like, there's something that I need to do more, and that hands over to the professionals.
Please know that if you're struggling with mental health issues or just need someone to talk to, no matter where you live or whatever your financial or social situation, there is help out there. Free services, neighborhood centers, even a voice on the phone. All of these can help you find the resources you need. We have links for more information on our website at cbsnewyork.com. And if you or anyone you know is in distress, call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You'll find free guidance and counseling 24/7. I'm Cindy Hsu. Thank you for watching Breaking the Stigma, Overcoming Disparity.